Ba-da-ba-ba-bum, ba-bum. Hello, 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 hello. Hello and welcome to Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo. I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Amakosi Football Club. I've lost my pitch. My voice cannot go so high anymore. I don't know what happened to my voice. Anyways, as you can see from the title of the video, we are previewing the Dstv Premiership match between Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, the biggest game in South African football, the Soweto Derby. And funny enough, I just want to say this before we even go on to the video. I've seen a lot of talk like on the internet, on Twitter especially, because that's where it's at, right? That's where people talk the most. I've seen some people trying to play down a Soweto Derby and talk about how small it is and stuff like that. Here's the thing, derbies, it doesn't matter whether the teams that are playing in that derby are bad or not. If it's a derby, it's a derby. Like, you know, the KwaZulu-Natal derby, they are made up. Like, we just say it's a derby because obviously it's teams that are from KZN. But the actual derby that has like actual competitors and history of the fixture is the Soweto Derby. And people can say whatever they want to say because they want to feel better about themselves. But the Soweto Derby remains the biggest game in South African football. Now, Chiefs might be losing, Chiefs might be winning. It doesn't matter where they are in the log. Yes, we don't want them to end up becoming smaller teams, but the thing is, at the end of the day, Soweto Derby still remains the biggest game in South African football, and I will say that with confidence. Anyways, so there are a lot of plots, obviously, when it comes to a derby, because the first one and the main one being the fact that the previous game we obviously lost it against the Golden Arrows, and that was nowhere near being good enough, right? So that needs to be rectified. But it's these players, right? You're just hoping they will use the fact that it's a derby to be motivated, because even when we played the derby the first time around, it wasn't like Chiefs heading to that game were on fire. They were nowhere near, like they were not on fire, but somehow they just managed to get a result, that goal came out, and then all of a sudden, oh wow, Chiefs won, and everyone was happy. But if we're being honest, we know Uguti, when it comes to a derby, form does not matter at all. Like, we've had derbies where Pirates were poor and then they play against the Chiefs. Good derby, all of a sudden they smash the Chiefs. We've had derbies where Chiefs were poor, we're having a poor run, they play Chiefs, and then Chiefs wins all of a sudden. So it's a derby, and for those people who think this is all of a sudden going to make Chiefs fall apart again, I would like to say we should not count them out. We should not count them out. And as you are joining, I know some people will be scared and won't want to join the live stream today because of the fact that it's a derby and they think we're going to lose. But as you are joining, just leave a like and just tap that like button and see how everything works. I just love how, since I've changed to using the camera, the thing here is not lagging because it's the HDMI and it just works well. So I'm happy with that. Anyways, the first concern, guys, is this one. Is the man who's on the thumbnail, right? That's the first concern. That's the first person who concerns me the most. Because Uzwane, we press conference, he said that Udove might not be fit to play. Guys, that just stresses me out because it defends here too with Ukwinika does not make me very comfortable. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Confidence, yeah, okay. Yabo, there are two things that worries you with a player who's out of form. The first one is that he's likely to make another mistake just because when you're out of form, you're out of form, right? But there's also the second layer, which is since he's out of form, confidence can't drop. And if your confidence drops, then what ends up happening is that you end up making more mistakes because you are living in your head and you're thinking, oh my God, I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to make a mistake. But what you end up doing is you end up making another mistake, which then is like, oh man, I just made another mistake again. And that mistake will affect you in the next game because now you are thinking about, oh, I'm out of form. Which is why if a player is out of form, sometimes you just need to bench them and have them, be in the right state of mind and then refocus and then they can come back. Because as much as we can be angry also as fans, uyasidlisa lona or this or that, there's also a very good element yokuthi he's also just a human being who makes mistakes and who gets affected mentally, and as a result it just ends up generating this chain reaction of mistakes. And at the end of the day, I have a plaster, at the end of the day he makes more mistakes. But if umkhipha, give him a rest, then he gets out of that mentality ukuthi ngizodlisa team because he's no longer playing. But when he does come back, then you will see a different player because now he will no longer be, how can I say this? He will no longer be in that run yokuthi I'm playing bad, but uzobe seyitholile break. As such, he can come in and say, okay, let's start again. Kan mawuzomdlalisa week after week after week, you're hitting them the most. So I think Dove's availability would have, if Ungezana was available, that would have helped Uzwane and would have made his decision to bench Ukwinika, for instance. It would have made it easier, right? Because bengambencha knowing ukuthi Dove is now available, so he can play someone else. But now we're at a point where Dove is not available. So if Dove is not available, then it's not so easy to bench Ukwinika because bench for who? Because now if you play Udube and then you bring in Unjabulo Ngcobo on a derby day, all of a sudden it's gonna look like, is this coach crazy? Why is he just, last week he brought on another player for the first time in the season and now he's bringing in Ngcobo who hasn't played in a while and he's just bringing them on for like the biggest game of the season. So it just makes a situation that is not complicated really, really complicated. Let me read your comments. Usimba says Chiefs should put their house in order to win, otherwise they will not be on fire. Yeah, there are a lot of things else that are happening with Chiefs that actually worry me, that make me go like, because there's a picture that Mandla sent me and I ended up posting it on Twitter where the players are just like this. Shepherd is there talking, Umat is looking on the ball and he's not looking at Shepherd. We have Umdu not even looking at the coach. We have Usabelo there was just staring like this. It's like, oh my God, these players are not listening to the coach. Like it got me frustrated because I'm like, these guys, like if this is what they do, no wonder why they don't hear what the coach says. Because when the coach is talking, they're just busy thinking about their own birds. And if you're thinking about your own birds while you're being given instructions on how you're supposed to play, then you're never going to perform in a game, because you are already displaying ukuthi you are not even listening to the coach. Because there's a difference. I can be listening and not pay attention. Like, we know this, we are guys, and ladies always accuse us of this, and they're right, because we do this thing yokuthi a woman can sit in front of you and they can just tell you indaba zabo, baby, 1 2 and 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then you're like notice how my eyes are just like I'm just staring, but there's no actual, what can I say, there's no actual attention. I'm not paying attention, I'm just looking, I'm just staring at you. So indaba ibuyibe lapha ekutheni, when I saw that picture, I will show you guys this picture because ngiyangithanda ukukhuluma ngento evidence. So kunaleyo nto leyo ukuthi if these guys do this when they're given instructions, then we're already in a very difficult situation to begin with. Like, this is not even on any other week. This is derby week, guys. This is derby week. Like, just look at these guys. Look at them. Just look. Mashane doesn't look interested. Umat is playing with the ball. Uhadebe, Noduba, they are the closest to paying attention. And then we have Umtu, who's not even looking at the coach. And this is like a few days before we play a derby. So it's like, oh my goodness. Because at the end of the day, who gets the blame? It's the coaches. But you can see the coach is busy trying to communicate instructions. But these ones are just not even listening. They are not paying any attention whatsoever. So it then makes me think ukuthi what we were talking about yesterday in indaba kaManqoba Mngqethu, ukuthi comes to Chiefs and players do this to him or do that to Zwane. It doesn't. I don't understand ukuthi bafunani, or yingoba they are being nursed so much and they are just living in a place, or they are playing in a team where there is no accountability whatsoever, where they don't account to us fans. As such, they can just do whatever that they want. So yeah, it concerns me. It concerns me a bit ukuthi one thing that I count on in my derby, ukuthi it's a derby and players will just perform regardless, because it's like a derby and people just perform my derby even if they're out of form. But if your mentality was not in the right place, then we're going to have bigger problems. So that's where I'm at. Okay, the next comment is from Spesihle. Says, I've never been so scared for Mangete. I hope he can get this win. I am rooting for him. That's the thing. Uguti Uzwane last game, what's the name of this team? Golden Arrows. He was escorted by police. Not that the first time we see that happen. The fans were obviously angry, so the cops had to take extra precaution. Uguti angashaywa Uzwane. But now with derby, I just fear Uguti if Chiefs loses a derby, because they have that ability. They can just lose it in a way that is like 3-0, 4-0 if they lose. If they're being embarrassed and humiliated, then what ends up happening is those angry fans from last week, combining everything that has happened in this season, will want to exercise their anger, and they will feed their anger in a way by invading stadium or being angry at the players or doing whatever. But the main person that they would be targeting is obviously Uzwane. So because I remember ukuthi the last game Stuart Baxter FNB, the fans were shouting at him and he played it off as chilled, as if it wasn't a big deal. But what ended up happening is that by that Monday he was gone, he was fired. So I know ukuthi Chiefs, the last like turning point yokugcina in most cases kuba ukuthi abalandeli are just done. Once fans start complaining and they get to a point where they like, we don't want the coach, that's when the coaches get fired in most teams, not just Kaizer Chiefs. But when fans start being vocal and booing, something that's happening with Chelsea Tuchel ukuthi if the fans end up turning entirely, then he gets fired. Same thing nakuzwana ukuthi if anything similar to what happened against Arrows in terms of the fans booing, then Uzwane might not have his job by Tuesday next week, which is just unfortunate for him because some of us wanted him to do well. But then if it does not work out on Saturday, it might become a problem. Knowing very well what Kaizer Town Jr. said, he said, oh no, we are fully behind him and blah, blah, blah. But we know these things can just change immediately. A 3-0 loss against Pirates means humiliation to Chiefs in a Soweto derby. Then all of a sudden it's gone. I heard rumors. I don't know how true that was. Rudy Kroll, I think he won a treble with the Pirates back to back. Or he won a treble once, or he won 2 cups, like he won a league and another cup for 2 seasons running. But he couldn't beat the Chiefs and he ended up being fired or being released or whatever. Lo amjita lo ayiwa inkinga lo with his pink shirt, njalo ugqoke ishirt elipink yena. Ewinani. But I heard ngoba kwakuthiwa they were not happy about his performance against Chiefs. He ended up being fired. I don't believe that though. I don't believe that. So I just think ukuthi I just think a lot of things could be decided this weekend. A new star could be born this weekend. Someone could make themselves a Kaizer Chiefs legend this weekend. Or Dolly, ngoba we know they're gonna play. They could launch or relaunch their career at Kaizer Chiefs if they can come back with a solid performance. But the problem is that with these players, with Chiefs, my biggest worry is that they are consistently inconsistent. That's what you can guarantee with them, Guti. They will mess up at some point. They will just mess up. They don't go out there and perform and you're like, oh wow. They just go out and they underwhelm you this game. Maybe they perform better in the next one. The following one, they go back to default settings and then you're like, shoot me. Just shoot me in the head, because these guys will always do the same thing over and over again. Guys, please do like the video, by the way. And then let me read the next comment from Chuki Wandi. Says Eta Chuki. Specifically says apparently Ngezana also took a knock during the Golden Arrows game, so they are not sure if he's going to be able to play. So now they brought in Siyabonga Kumete from development. Just hope it falls. I saw Ugutu Siyabonga Kumete has been brought up from development and he's been seen training as well with the Chiefs. As to extend Ngezana injury yake ukuthi how far, it would really be a concern, because that basically means if Ngezana is not available, then what will happen is that Uzwane will have to play Ukweneka as right back, which is better in my opinion. I know he pays Ageko Mnandi, and I've said I would rather have Ngezana play at right back than him, but at least he's away from Mama mistakes. But still, the problem is if he's facing Usaleng on the right, Saleng just drifts to the right and he faces Ukweneka one-on-one. Ukweneka uzolokhu enzenje, olokhu ehlehlile aze ayofika epaleni, uzoba nje i-bridge. So that's my problem, ukuthi you play him wide and that's the problem then. So maybe Ukumete, they might end up playing him as a right back if they play him. or alternatively they will just play Ukweneka as a right back, and then they will play Ungcobo as a centre back, because it would be a havoc. It would cause havoc and protest from Kaizer Chiefs fans if Uzwane again plays Udube and then it just plays Ukumete alongside Udube. That will be like the ultimate peace and an ultimate declaration yokuthi Uzwane doesn't want to play Unjabulo Ngcobo. Because if he's going to play a development player ahead of him, that would just say a lot. But I don't think that will happen. I just think Ugumede being brought up from development, if Kugutungezana is really injured, what we might end up seeing is that he might just be brought up so that he can sit on the bench, and then Unjabulo Ngcobo will play Udube, and then Ukweneka will play as a right back if Kugutungezana is injured. And then Moses says, hello Mpilo Nation, I smell something here. Dr. Khumalo was seen at Naturena and Jali is open to joining Chiefs. If they give him number 15, I think the Chiefs management want to back Ujali with that jersey number. I saw your comment on that video yesterday. I haven't responded because I've been busy, but yeah, it's basically the same thing. I doubt that, yes. If the Chiefs really did that, it would be a disgrace. It would be a disgrace, because when I was making that video, scripting that video, it did come to me, Taibo. Dr. Khumalo is seen at Chiefs, and all of a sudden we're hearing these things. Uguti Ujale wants to number 15. It would really be a disgrace. And I've seen people say it's just a number. A number means nothing. But the point is, this is not just a number, right? It's a number that identifies as the number of Dr. Khumalo at Kaizer Chiefs. And Dr. Khumalo is a legend to Kaizer Chiefs. And we honor our legends. And we've taken this legend and we have said, we want to honor you with this number. So it's not just a number, it's a symbol. It's like saying it's our version of a statue. Because Tina's na stadium where we can just raise a statue and say Nasa statue's got Dr. Khumalo. But it's our version of a statue. Retiring a number yomdlali is our way of saying this is our legend, and we're honoring the legend by making a statue or by retiring his number. Now, if you are going to say, oh, now Ujali is coming to Naturena, and the Chiefs in a statue who's this? In a statue ska Dr. Khumalo. And then Andile Jali says, nope, I want to have a statue exactly where Dr. Khumalo's statue is. So are you going to take down that statue just because you want to please a post prime player? Nah, fam. It would be a disgrace. It would really be a disgrace if that was true, or if that was to happen. And then Unati says, Olampilo Nation, away. This thing is sticking, eh? As I've been seeing this thing, Kampilo Nation, a lot, and Unati, it's Unati who started this thing, Kampilo Nation, and now I'm starting to see Uguti, other people are using it as well. So indaba Kampilo Nation soon enough, so ishintshe izogcina isikhona. Anyways, hello Mpilo Nation. Okay, Seshil Unati. And then Dominic says, Hola Mpilo, whoever is gonna be on the starting lineup will come on fire. Remember, we're talking about the derby here. Everyone ufuna ukuziprova, mark my words Mpilo. But that's the thing that I always like believe in, ukuthi if we derby, there's just this extra motivation, there's just this extra drive to push and push and push and push and push. I don't know why. No, I know why. Soweto derby is the biggest game in South African football, and I think we lose and draw games against, we lose games against Arrows, draw against Galants who are sitting bottom of the table, fail to score against Amazulu who are struggling on their own. It baffles me how they are behind us on the log with such poor results. We just almost let go of good games because of the fact that our players at times they score one goal and then they relax because they think they've won, and that happens because they underestimate the team that they're playing with. But with the Pirates, they know what we are playing against. It might not be a good team. We're playing against Orlando Pirates, and they're not going to give up because Kwabona, they are watched by 20,000 fans or 30,000 fans up, and then there's like 50,000 fans beto who are here and watching us. As such, as much as we are used to watching other games or being watched in other games where it's always predominantly our fans there, this time it's also Pirates fans. The stadium is full. But in Abema fans, I don't think that's the ultimate thing, because if you look at how full Mbombela was and how Chiefs ended up letting go of that game, then it just tells you that Ama fans don't really decide games for Chiefs, because especially this season after COVID, people have been going to stadiums more than ever. But Chiefs still finds a way to mess up those things, which I just don't understand. But yeah, it's a derby, so there's always that expectation Yoguti they're gonna do better than usual. Please do like the video, by the way. Just tick like. It's easy. Easiest thing you can do is just click like, literally. Thank you. And then Moses says maybe Chiefs' management were asking for doctor's permission to use his retired jersey. That would be disrespectful to him. I hope not. I hope not to somewhere with Charlie. Yeah, to somewhere. I get what you are saying there. I was slow, but I catch it now. Yeah, valid. Like, we can't give that. We can't do that. It's the legend's number. It's his statue. It's his honorable honorable discharge. Yeah. And Unati says, I think Zwane starting 11 and second half subs will determine whether we lose or win this derby. And the fact that we don't have a proper right back worries me. I hope Dove is fine to play on Saturday. Ebra, it depends on show, because vele the games, we've always lost our games in the previous few weeks. Where do we lose our games? We always lose them, Masabs. We always lose them. We select the wrong players. Like, it's not like we have a star-studded team, but we have players that are better than others. And selecting the players that are worse than others is like, oh. At this point, I swear I would play Umahlatsi ahead of Udoli, because at least Umahlatsi uzofukuza zame aphume. But Udoli nje, and uyazi uzodlala vele Udoli kusasa, on Saturday. He will play because he's kicking Udoli and he just gets game time. It doesn't matter whether he's performing or not. He's kicking Dolly and he gets game time, and he will get game time, which just, yeah, is another chance for him to prove himself. But he has gotten a lot of those and he hasn't proven himself, right? Yeah, and Uzwane Beno Shepherd, they must really fix in the subs. Shame, they really should. Member Kosi Mandla says, Kosi Nation, do hat trick, I believe. Yo, that would cement him, bruh. That would really, I'm busy playing with the chair here. That would really, like, he would become an instant legend if he scored a hat trick with Derby, like, as a teenager. Imagine, that would just like make him go crazy. And on top of the fact that he's already a very confident player, his confidence will just double, triple, quadruple, because, I mean, it's hat trick with Soweto derby. I saw a story and I didn't read it, but apparently he was an Orlando Pirates fan growing up. I was like, what? So that's the thing that I'm saying, Guti. If he scores a hat trick, that will be it. Mdu will be an instant legend. Umandla says, oh no, Segumskipilu Special. Special says, if Samgelo Zwane plays this weekend, I hope supporters don't boo him again because that would be so unnecessary. And this kind of explains why Zwane has not been playing him, because he's protecting him. Nabalandeli njalo bayabheda. That's just another thing that is never addressed as much as it should be. Like the fact that how do you boo Ungezan? How do you boo your own player? Like when they booed him earlier on in the season, they are too quick. They are just too quick in you can't boo your own player. As a grounding foot. Like if Tuagege, which is less evil, you would rather boo him when he goes out, saying Shoguti, don't do it. But if you are to do it after he gets subbed. Don't just boo him while he's playing. What a thing to do to a human being. Like imagine if you're working, like you're busy typing and someone comes, you suck, buku type kanjani. Khona phela abantu uma type coffee button, buku screen coffee. Bese umuntu ethi uyisinoko wena, utype kanjani. How would that make you feel? Yet people think it's okay to boo someone as a grounding. Just doesn't make sense. And the worst thing is to then boo a teenager, someone who's still trying to make their name in the team. These things are ridiculous, guys. The things that people do, they're just weird. But I don't think Uzwane is protecting Uzwane. I don't think the coach is protecting young Uzwane, because I just think Uzwane, when the youngsters are not performing, it's easy for him to bench them compared to the older guys, because it doesn't matter if you are dolly, you know, with experience. If fans start booing you, then you're in trouble. So it can't be just, no, we're protecting the young ones. No. Uzwane who chose to bench him, because I don't remember actually Usamgelo Zwane being booed, because he just had that one game that wasn't so great and he was taken out at halftime. So that tells me Uguti, you just took him out because Waibon Uguti, he's not playing, and then as well as expected him, then he took him out, and then that was it. He was never played after. But abalandeli basamfevu Samgelo basamfeva ngempela, because no machine, they've been out of form, but no one has been booing abo machine. So yeah, I think the person that they've booed is Ngezana kuphela, which was also not good. Manda says we must tell him to Barcelona will be watching the derby. He will show Pirates flames. Hey bruh, I'm looking forward to seeing that boy in a confidence yakhe. Njengoba ngisho, if these players can play with the amount of confidence that Umdu has, he just needs to get out of his head a bit, because there was the chance, but I won't like dive into that and make it. It is a big deal because it ultimately did cost us a game, but he's not the only one who made that mistake. So I'm not gonna brand him as the only selfish player, because there are other players who also did the same. But yeah, he just needs to know Uguti, the quality that he has, he needs to use, because we need it, because the other quality players that we have are not showing their quality. So we might have to depend on a 19-year-old to produce something for us, because, well, that 30-something-year-olds are not showing up for games. So now we have to depend on Umdu. Yeah. So next comment is from Ubrafox Wale Kosi, who says, hello Kosi, how I wish we didn't go into this game with Hlanti and Gezana at the same time, because all of them can't overlap effectively and Pirate will overload one of the sides. Just a second. Yeah. Uti hello Kosi, how I wish we didn't go. How I wish you didn't go. I lost the comment. I wish you didn't go to this game with Hlant and Gezana at the same time, because all of them can't overlap effectively and Pirates will overload one of the sides, and I think we need to do the same. I think that will be up to Umtu, because ultimately, what I've seen is that we use Umtu to do these overlaps, to do these overloads. Like we overlap drift usually to the right, where no dolly corner, because I think we overload the right hand side, because while they're focusing on that, then we can have a quick switch of play to Dupre, because he's the one who makes better runs in behind. So because of that, I think he's the east side that the Chiefs will try to overload is the one that's on the right. The question is, how does Pirates respond to that? I see Pirates putting Usaleng on the left, on their left, which is our right, so that he can exploit those spaces. Last time, Budoli, Ublom wasn't having none of that. So whenever the ball went out, he would just go there and destroy. If the ball was behind Uhlanti, he would go and cover that side as well. So basically, the person who was cleaning up stuff for us in the previous derby is no longer there. So now we're kind of in trouble. But I get you. We need to threaten Pirates as well going forward, but with our naturally defensive fullbacks sinking in a bit. Simba, derby at derbies. Look at Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, and Everton. That won't change that. Yebo. It doesn't matter. Like, Merseyside derby, Everton is fighting relegation, and Liverpool in the past few seasons ibihlezi lweli league. But still, kwi-derby, bekusuke kwazi ukuthi it's a big game regardless. So it derby is just a big game regardless. And then Unati says, please, let's make 50 likes today. Smash that like button. Yes, we only have 19 likes so far. My voice is so low. I don't know why. Because I can't go up now. It's just so weird. I'm trying to, yeah. Uchimi Born Mashumba says, let's respect legacy. Number 15 should not be used by anybody. I predict a win for Coast Nation. I know we are not consistent. Vele, yeah, just to talk about the thing again, yeah, bro, like we can't just say we're going to bring back Iches. Like Iches that was retired supposed to come back only if the person who the jersey was retired in honor of, if that person was honored by the jersey, can say, okay, you can use it, but and not after being asked. Like, if Chiefs really asked do doctor, I would be disappointed. Like, what kind of desperation would that be? Like, honestly, okay, guys. And yeah, derbies are a funny thing. They're a funny thing. Chiefs could surprise them. And then specifically said, not me hoping Caleb gets a yellow card this weekend so that he missed next week's game, because Vele, there is nothing he brings to the table. Why did he not just get a yellow card in the previous match, Batong? Why did he not just get a yellow card in the previous game? Because that would have helped us, because then we would know we would have one less problem to deal with. Because if Caleb is not there, that's a win for the Chiefs. That's a huge benefit. But again, there is this curveball, you would see there is a possibility I think I like the quality of the video. Now that I think about it, I'm looking at it. It looks much better, cleaner. Asikho-ke kodwa lapho sila. Peterson in goal, and depending on whether or not Ungezana is injured, Ngezana at right back. If Ungezana is injured, Zwane will play Kwinika there. Centre back pairing, Udube will come back if Udove is still injured. If Udove has recovered, Dube will be out, Dove will be in. And then again, depending on whether or not Ungezana is injured. If Ungezana is not injured, then Ukweneka will play alongside Udove. But if Ungezana is injured, in which case Kweneka will play as right back, then Uzwane, it would make sense to play Unjabulo Ngcobo as the right-footed centre back. Left back, we know is gonna play Uhlanti. That's not gonna change. And unfortunately, Uzwane will stick with a partnership Martin Stebe, which does not work as double pivots. Mina bafethu, what I would do, Ugutu Cole, I'm not sure if he's available for tomorrow. I think he is now. I think he is at this point because I didn't see him in the list of the players that are injured. I know I've said it so many times, the legs are not there, but I would play him. I would play Ukole, mina bafana. I will tell you this now. I would play Ukole in tomorrow's game if he wasn't injured. If he's fit, I would definitely play him. I would play Ukole. I would play him alongside Ustebe. I would still play that double pivot, but I would play with Ustebe, and I would play him alongside I would play Ukole alongside Ustebe. And then after that, I will then, as a number 10, Umdu, like there's no two ways of thinking about it. Umdu is definitely going to play in that position. And then this is where, once again, I get frustrated with Uzwane because I know Guti for a fact Udolo will play as a right winger, Dupree will play as a left winger, and Usail will play as a center forward. Which again, as I said last week, I would honestly rather start with Caleb. And that seems stupid to say, but I would honestly play with Caleb, man. If Uzwane, because I know Caleb is gonna play the game at some point. So instead of keeping him on the bench and waiting for him to come in the second half like he was expected to do against Arrows, I would rather start the game with him and then sub him. But logically, it does not make any sense for Caleb to be on that pitch, to be on that bench, to be on the stands, to be on that stadium. It just doesn't make sense. He should not be anywhere near that club. But since again, this is the situation, he's there and he's going to play, I would rather start with him as a number 9 and then sub him at halftime or 60th minute and bring on Utuba. But if you ask me, which team would I want to start tomorrow? Okay, let's do it. Obviously, I would play Peterson in goal, Ngezana or at right back if he's not injured, and then centre back pairing, I'll play Unjabulo Ngcobo, not Dove, but if Dove is not available, then I'll play Unjabulo Ngcobo with who's this guy? With I'll play Unjabulo Ngcobo alongside. Yeah, Unjabulo Ngcobo, no, not Dube or Dove, depending on Dove's injury. And then as a left back, this is where some of you will say, I would play Umashiane. I would definitely play Umashiane. And what I would do once I do that, I would actually take, who's this guy? Chiefs in attack and change them to a back 3. So Dove will have to push to the left, and then Ngcobo will play centrally between the defenders, and then Ungezana be the third. So if we're attacking, it's like a back three. And then because we're compensating for Utumashan is going to overlap, and then he might not come back on time. Because in any case, playing Ungezana as an overlapping fullback is sometimes like useless, because not useless but ineffective, right? So I would rather play Mashane, who's guaranteed which is going to give me something as an overlapping fullback. See by experience Katlant. And in midfield, I honestly play Cole Alexander Nostebe in that holding midfield role. And then when we get forward, that's where things get a bit tricky, but I'll do this. As a number 10, I still keep Umtutuzi Shabalala. And then as a winger, a left winger, I would still play Utupri, right? And then those three will make this overload, and then Ustebe will move to that side as well to just overload. And then as a forward, then I play Utuba, and then as a right winger, I'll play Usail. So I can say my starting lineup kanje. Peterson in goal, Ngezana right back, Ngobo for sure, Dove or Dube, depending on the injury, left back Mashane, Alexander, no Stebe, 10 Mdu Shabalala, right winger Dupree, left winger Dupree, right winger Sahil, center forward Duba. In that team, you have the pace, you also have the ability on the ball. Sahil takes people on the right, Ngapha Dupree is making runs in behind, and then Umdu is helping overloading the side on the right, and that will force the Pirates to move all their players to try and compensate for that space, and then we can just switch the ball to Sahil to kill it, and also make sure Duba is making the right movements within the box, so that when we do play the ball to the box, not ngama cross, just ngama cut back, he's positioned himself in the right place. Because you have Utupri on the left, you have Mashiane adding, you have Umdu also adding, you have Ustebe also moving to that side. So essentially we have 4 players on that side. So you are drawing the right back to come out, you are pulling the winger to come, so it's 4 against 2 now, and now you are forcing one midfielder to also move to that side and say you have Vulegi midfield up. So in a way, then when they try to move to that side, that's why we switch play, because they vacated a lot of space trying to equalize the numbers, and then we switch Ebola, and then that's how we can find situations where you can score. Because I saw that we did try that system, I forget which team we were playing against, and Usamgelo was playing in that game. We were just playing Ebola, overloading that side, and then the team would move and try to compensate for our overlapping on one side, and then the ball would be played to midfield, and then it would be switched to another side. All of a sudden you're in trouble, because you've moved all your players to the right, and now if you are moving again to the left, now we're playing the ball again to where you're coming from, and that causes all sorts of complications. So I'll definitely do that. Angazi ukuthi nina guys, what do you think? You can let me know in my comments. Let me read another comment. And please do like the video, guys. Dominic says Caleb might surprise you. I'm never ruling that out. Caleb is, I've said this thing, he's like that father that just comes back, or that uncle who comes back in December, who can just give you sweets, and then you're like, oh mama sweet, and then it disappears again. So in all, he is a disappointment, right? We know this. He will disappoint you, he will disappoint you, but then he will disappear. He will just show up for a second, but then it will disappear, proving again which is a disappointment. So that's my thing. Good team. Caleb, I can never trust him, but he might just come in and score a goal and do this, because he has seen my videos probably. So he might just score a goal and do this. And then I will say, yes, come on you Caleb, come on you Peminyimana, come on you Black Panther. And I will come back after the game and say, Caleb on fire. I'll do it. But regardless, it's still not good enough. Liberty says, I can already see Dolly starting and playing 80 minutes. Jehovah. Leon Dolly. And it's a reality, bruh. And he's not checking how that is putting him in trouble. Not kancane, like a lot. Like he should really stop this thing of playing with Dolly. It's not helping him at all. And then Unati says, Lipat official with that comment. And then Unati says, can Chiefs players show up and give their all on Saturday and leave nothing to chance? At least if they lose, they can say they've tried. Can I just say something on Unati? Even trying is not good enough. I will tell you this now. The trying will not be good enough. This weekend, the only acceptable result for the Chiefs is a win or being down by 2-0. Like, let's say, they concede a goal early on in the game and then they concede a goal on the 60th minute and everyone thinks Chiefs is dead and buried. And they score a goal on the 85th minute and they score a goal at a time. Those are the two acceptable results. Or we lose by 1-0 in the we trail by a goal 2-0 for the longest time in the game and then we score an equalizer right at the end. I think those are the only two acceptable results because those are the only results where fans of the Chiefs will end up saying, yes, But if it ends in a way where fans are like, oh, that won't fly. So the only way is if it ends with Kaizer Chiefs fans celebrating either a comeback or a win. Anything else won't be acceptable. So giving everything they have is not gonna be good enough. And then Umncedi says, what happened to Caleb Mpilo? In few games he tried to impress, but suddenly he's no longer the same. I wish he can start to show why Chiefs signed him. The reason why Chiefs signed Caleb when Umncedi was because we didn't have other options. Because as I've said many times, Atazwane himself, he said that Caleb wasn't like what he was looking for, was clear about that. And he said they were still profiling other strikers. Yet somehow magically, they didn't find other strikers and Caleb ended up being the person they signed. So that tells me the reason why Chiefs signed Caleb was because it's the only thing they had that they could use. So Caleb, the reason why he showed what he showed us is because one, he scored 4 penalties, which obviously I did say and I won't go back on that. It takes a certain kind of player to score 3 penalties in one game. You must be a miracle worker. You must have some sort of a composure or just know what you are doing on that game. And sometimes things have to go your way at times. And in that game against, I think it was Stellenbosch or someone, where he scored those 3 penalties. So in the Caleb was in that situation. Yoguti, things just went well for him. When he started, he got penalties, he scored like 3 other goals, and then after that, it just, because there are times where things just go your way, and teams also phela amathi bayafundana. Kwesinye isikhathi yabo khona abadlali abazwa ukuthi bayahlupha, like so uyahlupha lo mjida, but then you realize ukuthi you know what I should do. Like nabantu abadume ukuthi bayajikana, right? Like, hey, uyajikana, that guy is like a star, like he can dribble you. And then they were like, no, he doesn't know what he's doing. What you should do when he starts doing the showboating thing, just stand in front of him, wait for him to showboat and finish, and just take the ball. And kunabantu abenza njalo, umuntu athatha ibhola ekhoneni look at Jake, just stand in front of him and wait for him to make a stupid move. You take the ball, and all of a sudden all that jumping around was just nonsensical and it amounts to nothing. So basically there are players like that where you can say, oh, let's do this. It's a phenomenon that has been seen in the Premier League mostly. It even happened live while I was watching Sheffield United, whereby they first came in the Premier League. I think it was 2019, 2020. Yeah, or 2020, 2021, and then 2021, 2022 they got relegated last season. Yeah, so when they first came in that season, what happened is they came and they were playing 5-3-2, right? So 5 defenders, obviously these 2 guys are overlapping on my fullbacks, and then they have 3 midfielders, and then they have 2 strikers up front. But what was unique about how Sheffield United played is that the fullbacks, these 2 guys would overlap and effectively make a front 4. But what they would then do that teams that play 5-3-2 don't do is they would take one of these guys, back 3, and add him. So kuba nale 4, the 2 guys who overlap at first, then their strikers about 2, then the 2 midfielders add numbers to the front. So effectively it's 2-4-6 players attacking. And while teams are dealing with everyone else, like the 6 players that they're dealing with, and then the defender makes late runs into the box, and by making those late runs into the box, at times he scored, at times defenders would track him and leave spaces for another player to score goals. So that's how Sheffield won and survived the first season in the Premier League. But second season, everything started to change because people had known, oh, this is how they play, and then they ended up being relegated. And also, if you're in the Premier League, you need to spend money to stay there. So with Caleb as well, when he got found out this is how he plays, which is like he just waits for the ball to come to him. All they do now is make sure there's just someone shadowing him at a distance. And Caleb, since it does not make the right moves into the right spaces, and then it just disappears in my gaming because he does not know how to avail himself. Uzoberana, like you can't tell me Uguti, you are standing like this next to a defender. You are Caleb, this is a defender. Like all the time you're just moving around the defender, and whether they're following you or not, you're just staying with them. You don't drop to collect the ball. You just stay with the defender like you are married. Kumele move to the side and make the defender track you and leave his space, or move to the right. That just happens. These movements that I've seen Chiefs make at times that were impressive is when everyone just moves around. Epoleni, there's this thing called zones, and there are rules ukuthi there should be a certain number, especially kula system of 4-3-3, every system ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi ibhola is not about ama positions, it's about how many people are in a certain zone. So for example, if kunabantu abawu 3 out wide kule space esingaphandle, like elayinini laba gijima khona, kuzoba nabadlali abawu 2, like a winger and a fullback. But if a midfielder gets into that space, that means someone must invert. And I don't think Caleb understands those dynamics, because what I saw with him when he was playing with Mahlatz, when Mahlatz was making those diagonal runs across him, Caleb waysuke Samil, and by default now you have 2 players standing in the same zone that is supposed to be occupied by 1 player. And the moment you do that, you are messing with the entire system and the setup of the team. Uguti now, this zone, you're supposed to have 1 player who's there, but then that's the thing. Uguti, Caleb does not understand these dynamics. ukuthi how things work. He just moves around, defender limlandele, doesn't care, which is just sad. So that's what happened with Caleb. They figured him out, and the system, I'm confused. I even think sometimes of what I heard Rulani say about Pirates players. He said sometimes you have water, but the bucket that is there is not enough to get the water. Like, basically was insulting intelligence abadlali be-Pirates. In a way, it was like saying at Pirates, the fans, the players couldn't comprehend what it was communicating to them, and effectively saying Sundowns players are smarter than Pirates players. I'm not sure about that, but that's what Rulani said without actually saying it, but he did say it regardless. Umpo says Kosi for life. Welcome member. Says hola mpilo. And Kosi Nation late due to load shedding. Yazi ndaba load shedding, guys. I sat today and thought about it. Kuthi yazi le ndaba load shedding le izongihlalisa ngempela la mina, cause like imagine I would have to what's this thing? Indaba load shedding, yeah, ukuthi it just stresses me out. Ukuthi when I come back, when I have to do my live streams, what if in a load shedding? That means I will have to buy something UPS so that I can have power when there's load shedding, which is another cost. It just sucks. So yeah, it stresses me out in South Africa. Hey, because I'm now used to this life. I'm like never, always have electricity. Like I'm gonna come back to SA and not have electricity. And then Usipho says, what position is Dr. Khumalo at Kaizer Chiefs? He doesn't have a position. I just think he's a legend right now, nothing else. And then Nkosinathingele says, sure, cause ngicela ngelinye ilanga wenze ishow emayelana nokuthi what's better, to play a nice brand of football and not have results like good Chiefs, or playing boring football and win. I'll tell you what, at this point right now, until the end of the season, if Chiefs started playing boring type of football, fans would be happy, right? Because we would be winning, yeah? If Chiefs did the same thing next season and we won all the games in the league, a bore, fans would be happy. But then they would say, but what's this, right? Because at the end of the day, have you ever noticed how in South Africa, just to try and go into this, have you ever noticed how in South Africa there's this division? Yoguti, is showboating good, is showboating bad, right? Like, it seems like in other countries, Europe, it's clear with showboating, they don't like it. If showboating is good, I'm of the opinion that if your showboating is about, for example, there's something that Dolly did this past week. He was like, what, one two washaisigela wadlula. That's showboating, but it's effective. Not lento ukuthi uvela umepe kwebhola for no reason. If you are doing that to bait someone to coming to you and then then it's effective showboating. But if you're just gonna do it, dance Pirates development, then that's nonsense to me anyways. I'm saying this to lead into this point. Uguti, Kaizer Chiefs fans can take wins, ugly wins, boring wins, but eventually they will start complaining, because South Africans by default siyafuna ukuthi masibuka ibhola sibe entertained. We don't want, we are not just there for the destination, right? eChiefs or South Africans, they don't want like the final, what can I say? like the final thing, like the destination where it's like, oh, it's a winner, right? They want to enjoy the process while it's happening, everything while it's happening. Which is it, okay, imnandi lento siyibuka la, imnandi lento yenzeka la. It's like saying this, it's like to South Africans anyways, it's like, would you rather be full or would you rather eat ukudla that you will enjoy, right? So it's that thing yokuthi, to me anyways, that's how it comes across, ukuthi kunokuthi on one hand sifuna ukuwina but sifuna uku-enjoya that win, because akusizi bangizovele ngisuthe nje ukudla okubi. Because at the end of the day, if I came to you and I gave you ukudla okunetswayi but ulambile, uzokudla usuthe but uzochabe kukube kodwa lokudla kodwa ngidlile ngasutha. Now you are grateful ukuthi you are not homeless and on the streets and you are not like eating out of the trash cans. You are grateful ukuthi udle ukudla okunetswayi but udlile regardless. So basically that's what happens ukuthi as much as sothi ngidlile asilali singadlile, but you know ukuthi you ate ukuhlupheka, and that is what ultimately makes people complain about why is our football bad, right? So that is where this thing is at, ukuthi we want an attractive brand of football because we want to be entertained. So lento yokuwina is good, but it also counts how we win. I hope that answers your question. But I think you're right. This would be an interesting topic probably for next week. What is this? Okay. Ngifuna ukuthi ngenze a note. Oh, you can't see. Green screen is funny, but I have a note here. I'm trying to make a note about that. Win or results? Win or what? Or performance? I think enyinto, mina, at the end of the day, I would rather have both. But if you pointed a gun on my head and said, choose one, I would rather have a win, obviously. Because you don't hear Real Madrid supporters complaining about how well Real Madrid performs. Because Madrid, sometimes they play absolute crap. They play absolute nonsense. Like, Madrid ayikho into ayidlalayo kwesinye isikhathi ngempela. You cannot tell me ukuthi against Chelsea last season they played better, because they didn't. You can't say they played better against Man City, because they didn't. Can't say they played better against the PSG. They didn't. They didn't play better against Liverpool in final last season. But they scored more goals. And ultimately in football, it's about outscoring the person you are playing against. As such, Real Madrid has more Champions Leagues. If you look back in the games or the seasons that they've won the other Champions Leagues, you will see that they were just grinding results, and they've learned how to win. They have quality all over the pitch, but they have like accepted that, okay, equality does not always mean dominate position. Quality can just mean defend the whole game, but when you get a chance, use it. And that's what they do. So I think that's the ultimate thing. Umokoka says, I'm late, but our boys will win this derby. They know we're all angry. Then next week, babose futhi. Madoda. Let me go Sinati. I'm trying to make sure. Go Sinati. Yeah. That's one clickies. And then Umanda says Chiefs must hire rotational striker coaches, 2-month contract, Mark Williams, Besuma, Max Mamponyane, etc. Just so we get different perspectives till we find the right coach to sign long term. Yeah. Ukuthi mina ngazi ukuthi laba do they take serious indaba ka striker coach yini, it doesn't seem like they do, because you feel like they would have done that by now, because it's clear as day. Like, it's clear as day ukuthi Chiefs it's clear as day ukuthi Chiefs needs someone who's going to help the coaches with the striking department especially. And then Umpo is saying amadumbe. Exactly, like, you eat amadumbe. I never liked amadumbe. Wait, idumbe konje yini? Idumbe is the other one. Then bese kuba ne I forget the other one. Sweet potatoes amadumbe. I forget. Yeah, but sweet potatoes are better, but still nje, the other alternative that you add to it's why I imbi, but you have to eat it, and there are sweeties, but you don't enjoy it. And then Utaita says, why Uzwane vele ayek a team kufuna omunye coach, because uyibulele team. Ngeke uyibulale into efile bra. You can't go to a graveyard and just say, I'm killing this thing. Like, you cannot. You literally can't do. You can't kill something that's dead. Chiefs is dead and they need to resurrect it. And Uzwane is coming to a dead team and is being asked to build it. Now, the thing that is happening is you are trying to assemble a skeleton that's been dead for 8 years. And what's happening is it keeps on falling. It keeps on falling because it just so happens that this skeleton, it died and they took its spine as well. Because if you look at the team, Mangiti is spine asiko. You can't play without a defensive midfielder, someone who's going to control the midfield. You're expecting that coach to play Intesile without a defensive midfield. Look at what happened the moment Uplom started playing as a defensive midfield. Things changed. People became alive all of a sudden, because now we had a spine. We had Uplom lap in midfield, running things, pulling strings. So that's the thing. Fire Uzwane, get another coach. He's going to face the same problem, the very same problem that Uzwane is facing. Guys, you've watched this far. Please become members of the channel by simply clicking join below this thing. There is join underneath here. If not, wait, let me see. Oh, join is this side actually. Next to the subscribe button. If I could join lap, there is a comment that I pinned here on the chat. So if you click that comment, it will take you to a place where you will join a membership. By becoming a member of your channel, you get your own exclusive deals, like accessing the content before I release it to other people. You also get loyalty badges next to your name in comments and my live chat. As you can see, Umpo, as you can see, Umandla, they have badge next to their names, my commenter. And when I post the videos, they are the ones who see the videos first before everyone else sees them. And in that way, vele remember, you get even nama comments in, they're on their own, what's this thing? They're on their own position. So mang respond my comments YouTube just the members' comments. So my comments and my members are also prioritized in that way. So yeah, they get access to it content first. They also get responses first. So that's a deal for you, but it's also a deal for me. You just helping me with the channel to buy resources and to improve my overall production. The camera manager that I spent money on and the other things that I want to buy to make this channel even better, especially now that I know what I'm coming back to SA. Especially that I know Guti, I'm coming back to SA and I'm going to need way more stuff, especially when I go to stadiums, and my salary has other things that it has to do. So to grow this channel. I need to use the money from this channel to grow this channel. It's only 20 rands, guys. Please, please, yeah. Click the link that I pinned and then do the thing. Join. And then Usbabalu says, abaphumelele stadium. I just realized good being ngifunde wrongly comment. Okay, let me read it. Anyways, it says abaphumelele stadium. Sicela basishayele uzwane if babozile. Kumele kushaywe bona abadlali laba, hayi uzwane, but no, akumele kushaywe umuntu. Akumele kushaywe umuntu. Don't hit anyone, guys. Let's not resort to violence. Umandla says, being a member is very nice. I feel like a 20 rands streetwise boss. Yebo, kumele manje ngenza ama-advert ngomandla. Yeah, like guys, it's absolutely a good deal for you. 20 rands per month. Imali yesinkwa leyo. Imali yesinkwa leyo. But imagine sinkwa senyanga yonke. Umbuso Sindane says, good example, Mpilo, you made. Winning ugly or playing beautiful without result. Mentendorp was winning ugly, but people complained that his football was not entertaining. Yeah. Indaba ilapho ukuthi you can never like run away from the fact that this is South Africa and we just like our football to be attractive. Like there was someone who was saying this. It's probably not a mature thing to say, obviously. They were saying that you should not marry a person because they have good looks, but you should marry them for their heart. And then someone was like, yeah, but we don't walk around with our X-ray to see if their hearts are right. So it's that thing, Yoguti. At the end of the day, you might get the right thing, but by default, you just get attracted to how something looks as well before you can even say, what does it achieve for me? You are just like, no, I want it to look very good before I can commit to it. Yeah, there are a few people abazothi hayi ngabona inhliziyo yakhe. You know when someone is not confident about their person if ungakasho lutho, haven't even said anything. You're like, oh, this is your girlfriend or this is your wife. They're like, yeah, she has such a good heart. And then you know what shame. Yeah, got that confidence lokhu nkosikazi wakhe or in whatever. Because at the end of the day, there's just that thing yokuthi we want our eyes to be pleased at all times. And then Umpo is laughing at Umandla being the 20 rands boss. Usbongo Buko says, at least next season we have Ditlokwa in our defense only if we could get a right winger so we could shift Dolly to a 8 which he could play and bench Matt. But the thing is, Matt is playing even deeper as a 6, which then means Udoli coming through the middle will Yabo Inter that will solve our problems. Will as much as, what am I trying to say? As much as Udoli can come to the midfield, the only way that Udoli can come in and play as an 8 is if we have a defensive midfield. But right now we don't. So we're playing 2 6s and a 10. And that's a problem. Udoli then is keeping him wide because ufuna ukudlala umshini through the middle. I mean Udube. I mean Umduduzi. So that's what becomes tricky. I just think rather than sign a right winger to solve the Dolly problem, a defensive midfielder is the one who might solve most of our problems. That's the thing. Umpo is saying we also get free tickets for the derby. Remember a channel. Remember a channel. I'm actually going to I was trying to see if I can upgrade benefits members. But then I found I can respond to comments from members first, because YouTube shows you comments abo qala. Like there is a section where you can just respond to the comments from members as priority, because they pay extra. Anyways, Unhlanhla says, at this point, I think the team needs to focus on winning. Even if the team plays ugly, that will not be a problem. The team needs points, not the beautiful football with no results. No, yabo, at this point, like where we are, I agree with you, Ngempela. We need wins, because winning one game will also make us confident to can win the other, then we can solve in the but if we can get the basics right, we are solid at the back, as Vuza, we are solid in the middle, we are well organized and protecting our defense. And forward, if we're pressing, they are leading the press well, they are coming back to defend with the team, but they are very lethal when it comes to getting chances and converting them. Those things can solve as a Chiefs saying, be solid at the back, finish your chances, and then you can see how can we then make this intricate and dominate games and win stuff. That's next. But yeah, that's what's up. And then Umpo saying we also get free tickets for a derby as members. Umandla says, my prayers is that Caleb doesn't play. I know I'm praying, guys. I will switch off my TV when I see that one on the field. The thing is, derby will surprise you, because as I said, Caleb might just score a goal. He might score a freaking hat trick even coming off the bench, score 1-0, and then Chiefs ends up winning the game 3-1. You'll be shocked. Jacob says, I think at Chiefs camp the problem is mentality. I showed this picture early. Umandla sent me this picture, and I was looking at these players and thinking, why are they? Look at them. Just look at them. All of them. Umatu udlalela ngebhola. Umdu is not looking at the coach. Hadev is like, okay, yeah. Udupri is like, qeda phela. It looks like it's only Duba who's actually listening in that picture, and that makes you think, mentality abadlali isenkingeni ngempela if they're not paying attention on derby week. It's weird, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, Makosi. But all we can say at this point is that become a member of this channel. Is that we'll also go live on the day, like an hour before the game starts. And I'm interested. Last time we had a live before a game, we actually got like 6,000 views, which is like, what? In an hour. In an hour, I was actually like impressed. But yeah, no, I won't go live like 1 hour and a half before. No, I'll go live an hour before the game starts, reacting to the starting 11 and just getting my final thoughts from the people, because I feel like that's when people will be like, what the hell is this, man? Because if Kuguti the team selection is bad, people will be raging. But in general, that's when we'll also know how things have worked. I need to get stickers and special what. And then Sibabalo says, but iChiefs sendiyibona mna bafuna udlala imatch A1 right bawina then lose the next 2-3. Yani badinga ushaywa bonke plus nomtawunga. Hayi Mokosi. I mean, ngiyanibona ndifuna ukushaya abantu and you guys are serious about this. You guys are really serious about about whooping these guys. My God. Jacob says, and we need to be supporters, be like Celtic. We win, we lose, stay true and loyal to our team. I will die a Kosi no matter what. That's the thing when I Kosi, we are diehard fans. Ne? It's just that we get mad. Ne? We just get mad. We don't like if someone messes with us. I'm not in a level yoguti I will beat someone up. I am just in a level yoguti I'm mad. Like I remember when Chiefs played against when the Chiefs, what's this thing? I remember when the Chiefs played against the Arrows last season, right? And we lost 2-1. So what happened is I was there and the team had lost. I was like, oh, what the hell, man? How do you lose that game? So I was angry, but there were people who were much angrier than me in that stadium. And because of that, it just felt like, oh wow, I thought I was the angry one. But there were people who were much angrier than me. So then I was like, wow. So I thought I had anger issues. There are people who are actually really, really angry out here. And I just like, okay, yeah, let me just focus on interviewing the people. And some were still like within being reasonable, but some were really mad. So yeah, I think we are fans and we love our team and we are diehard fans, but we just get mad. And also, this is what you must remember. If I go back home, I go to Soweto, I start my team, and people will support my team because a team is Soweto. And that fan base will be loyal to my team just because a team that is from the town, like yeah, they want to be. But the thing is, what will happen is that if we lose, the fans will stick with me because they supported this team solely because they are Soweto. They will stick with them. If you are Footy Chiefs, they will support with them. But if you take Chiefs is Soweto, there's someone from Devon, there's someone from Cape Town. We all just grew up. Kaizer Chiefs is the big thing. Kaizer Chiefs is winning games. Kaizer Chiefs is winning titles. Kaizer Chiefs has the best players. And now they've dropped off. They are no longer performing. Going back to my example, I made an example of good people will be loyal to me because they know me as a guy who started a team in their town, and they are loyal to my team because they are loyal to the town. Same thing with Celtic. Fans were loyal to Celtic because it was a team from Bloemfontein and the team that was representing Bloemfontein, and it became a spirit of the team from Bloemfontein. But the Chiefs, it's not just supporters who are supporting the team because of Uguti, it's a South African team. No, it's a successful team. That's the reputation. Like, if you get someone used to winning and you stop winning, they're gonna get frustrated. If you have a girlfriend, a wife, whatever, you get them used to buying them presents and then you stop buying them presents, then they'll get mad, right? Well, for girls, they end up leaving you at times, but it's different with the team because you just can't leave your team. You can leave your girlfriend, you can leave anyone, but you can't leave your team. So we can't be Celtic fans in that regard. We get mad and we want to kill people. And then Usimba says, you are my sibling on your show, by the way. I have a South African grandmother. Oh, do you? I know Gutu Simba is watching. I don't know whether you are watching from Zimbabwe or you are just from Zimbabwe, but I know Guti, you are you have a South African, you are a Khosi Nation manje. Khosi Nation is a nation on its own. So it goes beyond borders. It goes beyond borders, Leon Toleo. So ilapindab. And then and then Kosinati. No. Oh, Umpo says, where is Celtics today, Jacob? And not the Celtic, they just got screwed over by ownership. That's why teams should be owned by the fans, because fans won't just sell their team to Royal AM. That's just nonsense. Like, I mean, there are two things in South African football that I've never understood. Yeah, but since we allow this nonsense of selling statuses, that thing has ruined football. Like, ETTM, I don't even remember their first name. Yeah, by TTM, right? Chakuma Chama Chipanzila, whatever. And then they changed to Marumo Kalans. And they just have names and changing. They are in Limpopo. Now in Limpopo, they are not being honored by Polokwane, giving stadium to Chiefs. Now they've moved. Batung. Because the team was moved from Brouberg to Limpopo, from Limpopo now to Bloemfontein, because they are now trying to use those fans and basically change them and make them Celtic fans, because they saw with KZN they can't go there. Polokwane, obviously, Chiefs just took over Polokwane, so they can't leverage those fans either. Because like Pietermaritzburg, because I was studying in Pietermaritzburg, and everyone there was like supporting the Chiefs. In Pietermaritzburg United, when Pietermaritzburg United is playing against any other team. But when Chiefs came to town, everyone was all of a sudden Chiefs fan. But I digress. Point that I'm making is owner, because they screw you over, and the team that you supported your whole life, in the case Celtic, ends up being Royal AM. And then Usizo is asking, can't you stream the game, bro? I can't. I was saying in the last stream that, not in the last stream, like Uguta, I didn't want to tell people about or share a link of where to watch the DSTV games, because I feared Uguti DSTV. I know would they see that you talking about that in their in your channel, and then all of a sudden you're in trouble. Because, well, besides that, if I streamed a DSTV game, knowing where these games are streamed illegally, they would shut me down. They would shut down that video, and then they would register something. It's called a copyright strike, because I would have used their videos illegally. And eventually they could just shut down the channel and report it to YouTube. Uguti, I'm a pirate. Like pirate, not Orlando Pirate, but pirate as in I'm using a content illegally. And because of that, I can then lose the channel that I've worked so hard to build. So no, that's the short answer. But search on YouTube on what's this thing? Connie channel to just football, but now this week they couldn't stream because DSTV kept on shutting them down. There are links like Abu Stream to watch. Mandla, you can drop like the name of your site as well, where you can just search stream to watch on Google, and then you will see AMA sites, and then you can watch PSL Gulauma sites as well, because that's how I watch it. Because with DSTV now, even with the VPN, so that's like weird. Anyways, yes, now it's any link that Mandla just shared, livetv.sx. It might not have sound, but it works. Yeah, and then Umandla says, Mina, I got medical aid because of Chiefs. I know these ones will kill me. Jacob says Mpo is in Durban. Mpo Celtic is in Durban. Isi-Royal AM. Unkosinathi Ngele says Wempilo indaba ungamthanda uHlanti ekubeni uyakora okhele beboza. Inkinga ngoHlanti, I said this in the post match video on Saturday. Ukuthi uHlanti ufika kore, which is what he did against the Arrows. And then he what he did is he went and scored a goal and then went on the other side and cost us 2 goals. So effectively he cost us 2 goals but scored 1. So he scores 1 and then he fails to stop 1. That's 1-1. Then again consider another goal, 2-1. So sezidliwe ngenxa yakhe. So in a way his goal ended up not counting at all. Umthobisi says sofela khona ku Kaizer Chiefs siyawina ngeSaturday ngeema lapho. Viva ngekhosi, viva cause. Unathi says Mpilo you are losing your Zuluness. How come you don't like amadumbe? It's because I'm trying to think. Two guys, kunamadumbe and then there's something else. Amadumbe, I don't know. I think amadumbe la ngiwathandayo because amadumbe are sweet. Hey, no. Amadumbe angwafuna amadumbe. You. Ngithanda upatata. It's called upatata. Yes, ngithanda upatata. Amadumbe ngaze ngawathanda. Ngaze nje ngawathanda amadumbe guys. Yes, angwafuna amadumbe. Ngiyakhumbula angwafuna. Ngiyawuthanda upatata because sweet. Amadumbe mabi angwafuni. Angaze ngawathanda, bro. Like I never liked them in any case. Umpo says supporters can be loyal, Mara the owners will screw us over. You are right. The ultimate screw up is what those people at Bloemfontein what they did, and that sucked. That really did suck. Selling a team to Royal AM or to anyone really. And then Umsawenkosi says kodwa vele noma sibheda si Chiefs, iPirate is our daily bread. Hey, the cockiness in these comments. I remember we said the same thing in Sundowns because we've been losing against everyone but winning against Sundowns. So people are like, these are our daily bread. Then saluza ngo-4-0 baphinde basiphinda futhi. Hey Nkosi yami. Nanso-ke comment ethi livetv.sx. YouTube is scanning these comments. The next thing you know, they will be telling Dstv to go and shut that down. Because no stream to watch. They closed the main website that I used to use to watch games. Because Dstv is apparently cracking down on those sites that are doing illegal streaming of their content. It took them long enough. My business, I wouldn't have allowed that much thingy. I had even thought of creating like a highlights channel and whatnot, but then I realized ukuthi indaba yama copyright will come in thick and hard, and I'm scared of that. I don't want to work so hard only for someone to just take it away from me. So that is why my content is valid. It was never ever supposed to be highlights. It's always been about me just talking and hearing what you guys have to say and then responding to that, interaction with the fans. That's my thing. With fellow fans, not like my fans, but Kaizer Chiefs fans that we support the Chiefs now. And then Ukosi Temba the member who says I can create another channel. Here's the thing. When of course I want one day on YouTube someone will create a documentary about me. Yeah, Professor someone will make a documentary and they will say the rise of Mpilo, the rise of whatever media that will be birthed out of this. And mase ngibatshela bengibuza ukuthi they will ask ukuthi who's Mpilo. and I don't want them to say, oh, he started by posting pirated content from DSTV. Funguti Bati, he stayed up all night and streamed 2 hours of live content at 2 a.m. in the morning while he was in Indonesia after working a long day. And then he came back and worked and did live streams and recorded videos and edited shorts, and he worked hard. That's what I want. Angifuni ukuthi ba i-legacy yami be tainted in any manner ukuthi bethi hayi nimbona nje wayintshontsha izinto zakwa DStv, because uDStv uzojika ungisuwe. Ngiyasaba nalokho. Ngiyasaba nokusuwa uDStv. Guys, go, let's get 50 likes ngempela uqinisile uLipat official, please. Because we are beyond our time actually at this point. Yes, you see how happy I get, guys, when these things happen. Oh man, I get so happy. Oh my god. Welcome to exclusive packs. Tebang, welcome. These things make me happy. You have no idea. Like it touches me, because that's you, like, basically saying, on top of all the energy that you spend on this channel, you are also now giving me your money. Guys, this means a lot to me. Like, it means a lot. Yeah, thank you Tabang. Thank you Tabang so much. Yes, so yeah, thank you. Umpo says, I agree, family business is not working at Chiefs. They want it to stay like that. And then Sawenkosi says, ukhona ubhatata lapha eSwatini Mpilo, buya ulanzi. Manake, whoa, I need to know this. Which side of Swatini are you in? Because I have a friend, Unogwanda, she lives in Swatini as well. She was a friend of mine. When we worked with her a lot, and then she went back home because she came to SA to study. So now she left, and but we still talk. I was just talking to her on Instagram yesterday. But yeah, I will come and get to Patat when I'm Sawenkosi. Nkomezulu, you see, I told you Guti Kosi Nation has no borders, because Sawenkosi is in Eswatini, Simba is in Zimbabwe, and I've gotten some comments from other people from around Africa as well. We are reaching places. Feel good. Anyways, Umanda says, I know this is the last time I'm posting my site. They will block my non-sound Chiefs games. DSTV is too expensive, my daughter, just for sports. And all of these things. I was watching a video from what's this thing? Mbabane. I think she lives in Mbabane as well. I was watching another video from T4 Football where they were talking about the same thing. Which in Europe, especially in England, the same thing is happening. People are not I played with that when people are not streaming, are not watching or subscribing to Abo Sky Sports or BT Sports because they are too expensive. Please do like the video. So yeah, that's what's up. Should I make my chapters now? Maybe I should. It's gonna take me a while. I'm not gonna do it. 601 views, that's what I'm talking about. 38 likes. Let's get those likes to 50 before the stream ends. And then obviously we've said Tabang, welcome. Yeah. So weird. Simba says I'm Zimbabwean. Yes, you told me, cause and you're saying I'm in Harare. Oh wow, you see now. We have a person in Mbabane, we have a person in Mbabane, Eswatini, we have a person in Harare, Zimbabwe, we have people in Pretoria, SA, and everywhere. We have a person in Surabaya, Indonesia. You see how powerful football is, guys. Like, we're just coming together to talk about football at this hour. Omunye kukhuluma ngananu Oh, it's 2:15 in the morning here, but it's fine. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Utabang is saying, great to be here. Great to have you. And then Umsayankosi says, Usembabane. And then naloke leli hlathi lo-Blade. U-Blade is saying, ufuna ubhatata or isithembu eSwatini. Elungiyeka, angifuna isithembu mina. Angifuna isithembu. I'm a one woman person. I'm a one woman. I learned to want that kind of life. Because hayibo ngikhohliwe kuleli hlathi lo-Blade lise New York. Yes, like we literally have how many time zones in this chat? We have this one, me being in Indonesia. We have the guys in SA with our time zone because that's home. We also have, well, Iswatini also, it doesn't matter ukuthi we don't share the same, we share the same time zone. What matters is that it's different countries coming together to talk about coordination. So yeah, that's what I like. Right now, literally right now, we have a person in Zimbabwe, a person in Eswatini, we have a person, people in South Africa, and we also have a person in New York, yeah, and we have a person in Surabaya, Indonesia. Wow, I should clip this. This is a global show. I can literally say that it's a global freaking show. I didn't guess, by the way, in case you didn't catch. I said freaking, FREAKIN, freaking show. Yeah, I love that. Anyways, I'm just here wilding, having fun. It's good for my health. Webblade, you can now join a membership. You see the link that I pinned. You can click on that link and become a member, because you are the one who's been struggling to join as well. So guys, nangu Uhopotso says, Ola Nation, I'm late, but hey, better late than never. Yeah, you missed the best part, but you can always rewind. And guys, go check out the other videos that I posted, Gandhi Lejali. I will try and respond to the comments that I have not responded to on the channel, because after that loss, I was just depressed and I stopped responding to comments a bit, but I still had to make content. But the problem is I don't respond to comments one day, I come back, they're like 5 times more. So yeah, I have to answer those comments before I go to sleep. Guys, Umsayankosi says Kaizer Chiefs as supporters worldwide. I even suspect some Pirates fans are half Chiefs supporters. Wait a minute. Umpo, I don't believe Umpo is saying he's in London now. For some reason, when I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I will post something on your Facebook tomorrow, because I know you are on Facebook. Post something and convince me that you are on Facebook. Let's check the poll. So 102 votes and 63% of the people. What is happening? Yes, 102 people voted, 62%. Yes, there we go. This is the best freaking show. I told you. Today we are wilding. We are freaking wilding. Let's go. Another member. 2 members in one night. This is wild. Nengiyeke, guys, I need to be happy. Yeah, say some Pirates fans are half Chiefs supporters. They love Chiefs. We're a vibe. Welcome, Blade. Thank you for finally joining and being able to join. On that high note, thank you so much for joining. I will see you on the next one. And until next time, remember, equals alpelumoya. Ay, 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 this was a good day. This was a good day. Champions of Europe. You know who we are. Oh my goodness. Oh my days. I thought I ended the stream. Why does it seem like it didn't?